Hey fiber friends, and welcome back to my Learn to Knit series. Today in episode 7, I will be walking you through the slip stitch heel flap. We will be talking about all the math behind the slip stitch heel flap so that you can better understand your knitting and have the skills you need to attach a slip stitch heel flap to your sock, even if the pattern calls for a different heel. Today we will be creating slip stitch heel flaps using an even number of stitches. Here you can see that I am at the beginning of the round. I have finished the cuff and the leg of my sock, and I am ready to add in my heel flap and heel turn. Because I am knitting these socks using the magic loop method, my stitches are already divided in half. I have a total of 48 stitches and 24 stitches on my working needle. I'm going to knit across these 24 stitches with my main color. The slip stitch heel flap is worked back and forth in rows and not in rounds. Once I have knit across half of my stitches, I am going to turn my work, add in the contrasting color for the heel flap, and purl back across the 24 stitches that I just worked. I will then turn my work and begin the 2-row repeat that makes up the slip stitch heel flap pattern. Row 1 is slip 1 purlwise with yarn and back and knit 1. Then repeat slip 1 purlwise and knit 1 across to your heel flap stitches and turn your work. Row 2, slip 1 purlwise, purl across all stitches and turn your work. Then you will just repeat these 2 rows the correct amount of times that you need for your heel flap. The number of rows that need to be worked is the same as the number of stitches in your heel flap. I have 24 stitches that I'm working in my heel flap, so I know that I need to work rows 1 and 2 of the slip stitch heel flap pattern until I have completed 24 rows. When we slip the stitches at the beginning of each row of the heel flap, we are creating a neat chain on either side of the heel flap, where we will be picking up stitches later for the gusset. Once you have finished the correct number of heel flap rows, ending with row 2, you are ready to dive into creating the heel turn. To set up for the heel turn, divide the number of heel flap stitches in half and then add 2. And this is all the math you have to do for the heel turn. In the example I am knitting here, I have 24 stitches. Half of my heel stitches is 12, plus 2 gives me 14. I'm going to knit across 14 stitches. I'm going to slip, slip, knit, then knit 1. Turn your work. Then, no matter how many stitches you have, work the wrong side row in this manner. Slip 1 purlwise, purl 5, purl 2 together, purl 1, turn your work. Because we have slipped a stitch at the beginning of the wrong side row, we have this gap in our stitches. We slip 1 purlwise and then knit to 1 stitch before the gap. Now we will close the gap by creating a slip slip knit using 1 stitch on either side of the gap. Then knit 1, turn your work. Now, because we also slipped the first stitch at the beginning of the previous row, we have another gap. We slip one purlwise, and since we are on the wrong side of our work, we will purl all the stitches till we are one stitch before the gap. To close the gap on the wrong side, we purl two together, taking one stitch from each side of the gap. Then purl one. Turn your work. Continue this pattern of slipping the first stitch at the beginning of the row, knitting or purling till one stitch before the gap, closing the gap with the correct decrease, and then knitting or purling one stitch after the decrease. You will work in this way until all stitches have been worked, ending with a wrong side row. Now you have created a heel flap and heel turn. Using the map covered in this video, you are now prepared to insert a slip stitch heel flap and heel turn into any even numbered sock pattern.